everybody, and welcome back to the Chilluminati podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts, and only one. I'm trying to make a decision right now. I'm Mike, by the way, one of your hosts. And I'm joined today by...
Hi, Mike.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, Mike? What's up, Mr. Mike?
Don't call me Mr. Mike? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Mr. Mike.
I'm joined by the Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O. No, I already did that one. That's unfortunate. You're Tenacious D today. Congrats.
Okay.
You're Tenacious D
Which
today.
one's which, though? That's the real question.
Alex is Jack Black, for real. Let's not pretend.
Am I, though? I feel like I've calmed down.
I feel you got this Jack Black, like, crazy vibe, and I've got the I'm going to go along with you and, like, kind of hype you up about your craziness vibe. Okay. And everyone needs their, like, t-shirt wearing, guitar playing pal in the background.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody needs that.
I can harmonize with you, bro.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
You gotta have your cage.
You two have been harmonizing for a long time now on your content from as far back as Scary Game Squad. Is that your first YouTube series you guys did together?
Go check out, speaking of Scary Game Squad, go check out youtube.com/OMFGKata.
I almost choked on my water.
Yeah, I haven't heard that link in a long time. Oh my God.
Does that still work?
Somebody out there was like, wait, that's him? Like somebody just pieced it together.
I'm gonna go. I'm doing that right now.
Does that still work? Go check out SGS. Episode 1 of Madison.
It still works, baby.
No.
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's coming out. Get ready. World of Warcraft Cataclysm, baby.
It's on the
Cataclysm
way.
is here.
Man, there was no forethought on that particular name, huh?
Did I ever tell you that I wanted them to call it the Clism?
The Clism is just...
That's so
that sounds like
on edge.
They kept being like, it's Kata. I'm like, or it's Clism. And they're like, what? And I'm like, it sounds cooler. Sounds better.
The Clism.
Clism is coming.
Kind of sounds sexual.
Clism.
Yeah, but like, that's what sells these days.
The Clism sounds like an STD that killed everyone.
Alex, come on. That was your perfect segue. I got to shove it back over to you. You know what else sells well, Alex?
Speaking of shoving things over to us, head over to patreon.com/ChilluminatiPod where you can shove money that you have of your own disposable income into our Patreon account. And in return, you get to have a great YouTube/podcast/movie comedy podcast that comes out at a regular, public, enjoyable, free-to-listen rate for all. You get ad-free episodes. You can get art. You can get frickin' what can't you get? What can't you get? Ask yourself that. What can't you get?
You can't buy
at patreon.com/ChilluminatiPod. You can't. Nobody can buy power except for the Chilluminati.
All right.
And we bought it by lending the Illuminati some very strong weed. And that's how we got in. And that weed became the Boston Baked Bean Boy.
Oh, they did a ritual. Oh my God, they did a ritual on the weed that we gave them and brought it to life.
On a can of baked beans, and only one bean lived.
They tried to reverse engineer it. Yeah, they tried to reverse engineer it, and it was like Ninja Turtles, but like just way worse.
Right, it was Secret of the Years all over again. Yeah.
He's so fragile. Just one. Like a little bit too much pressure, and he's just a paste. But he smokes weed. It's crazy. He smokes weed.
That's all he does. That's all he wants. It's what powers him. You make a good point there, Alex. We just released the public episode 2 of our Rotten Popcorn Pod. It was Mothman Prophecies. No, what was our episode 2? No, Mazes and Monsters was our episode 2. So
how could you just forget? Went out.
I don't know how I could forget that.
He's still in game today. He's still IG out there.
He's stuck in game forever. And if you are on our Patreon, or if you're a patron on our Patreon, there's 5 others. Episode 7 just dropped on Patreon, and we just watched Jane and the Lost City, which was, I think, surprising for all 3 of us.
It was certainly surprising, yes.
I had a great time. Yes. I loved every second of it.
I can't stop thinking about Tom Hanks was still in character as his character. He would be Tom Hanks today, looking the same way, but just like...
But IG,
behold me, lady!
Yeah, on his giant, like... old money New York property, wandering around in the woods like some fucked up modern version of The Great Gatsby.
Do you think he would have found love? Someone to cosplay with him all the time?
Oh yeah, there's somebody who would be willingly not having. Yeah, there would be somebody.
If you got a good enough DM, you can do anything. You know.
You're right.
Oh my God, she could be the DM, and they'd be the perfect couple. Oh my God.
There should be a stoner comedy of people, a team of D&D guys trying to go get Tom Hanks and like get him catch him and become his DM.
Dude, I was going to say, like, they left us with some cliffhanger bait. Like, you could do a lot with that. That would be fun.
It could be set in
Mazes
the same
and Monsters
world.
Resurrection.
Oh, yeah. Because they need him to come back. Yeah, you're right. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
It's like the real world explanation for Jumanji that destroys your dreams.
Dude, you do a whole movie in this fantasy world and then have the twist reveal at the end. It was all in his head. And like he's like in the middle of a New York street with his LARPing friends who kidnapped him from his own home.
It's actually just modern Tom Hanks.
It's literally just Tom Hanks walking around in like plain clothes. Like
everyone in America will understand. It'll be a hit.
I want that so bad. Also, before we get into our episode, last thing, our live show tickets are officially on sale, everybody. October 25th. What? In LA at the Terragram Ballroom. You can go to Chilluminatipod.com right now and go grab those tickets. Much like last time, we have a very limited number of VIP tickets, and I think we're already halfway through them. And then we have general admission tickets that you can scoop up before they sell out. Again, Chilluminatipod.com. Yeah, the VIPs sell out pretty friggin' quick almost every time. So there's only not a handful, but there's only a few left. Go check it out if you plan on coming to the show. Already we have people in our Discord who have booked flights and hotels, and everybody's getting together and be like, where are we going to go? Where are we going to hang out? Where
how
do we
many of
go?
them, question, how many of them are going to wingman for me and bring their incredibly attractive redheaded friend to marry me? Question.
Okay, so you're hitting the pool hard by just saying redheaded because that's a small pool.
You know what? I'm willing to stick a toe in that small pool. A toe is weird.
Yeah.
I'm willing to stick a toe in that small pool, my friend.
Yeah. Ugh.
All I'm saying is, why is it so hard for people to drag their friends to the show merely to set them up with me? What is up with that? Why is that such a problem?
Why is that so hard?
Why is that so hard? You and me are going to work in secret to convince your friend that doesn't know any better to fall in love with me. What is wrong with that?
Nothing I can think of. Head on over, and if you want a wingman for me, you can be sure and pick up your glow-in-the-dark vampire teeth for hashtag Alex's Big Smile, which is going to happen 1 minute after the beginning of the show. 1 minute after the beginning of the show.
You will forget this.
I'm not going to forget. I already did it a whole week. How much farther could I possibly even
remind yourself week to week, you will actually never forget.
Yeah,
find me on Twitter at Facianier, at Mathis Games, at Jesse Cox. Find me on Twitter.
Discord have already bought. Somebody said they bought a 12-pack, like to hand out to people.
Yeah, to hand out on Amazon. There's a link. I just retweeted
Collusion.
That's what I wanted. Remind me. Let's get it trending.
We're gonna get on stage and you're gonna forget in the moment, and that's what I'm gonna enjoy. Someone in the audience is gonna have to remind you. They're gonna be like,
"There's no way."
Alex, I bought that teeth, and you're gonna have to sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm so dumb."
Hopefully, there's a sea of glowing mouths out there, so there's no way that I can forget.
I absolutely hate
as soon as the lights go down, they're
mouths.
gonna try. This house staff is gonna be so confused because they're gonna try and put the lights down, but instead it's still gonna be lit with like a light green glow from the audience.
How light do you think it's gonna be, bro?
Dude, get ready.
Those things glow in the dark.
Hashtag Alex's Big Smile. Don't forget. Never forget.
All right. Well, on that,
Mathis, do you need a wingman for something? So far, we have two.
I'm good, man. I'm
wingmen.
pretty solid. Like, I mean, you could wingman me to keep me away from the aliens, but I just don't think they're gonna show up.
Wait, they want to keep you away?
No, in case you want to keep me away from the aliens. That's what I'm asking you to do. You need to be my like guardian protector in case I make an impulsive decision to walk away with somebody who claims to be a star child to their mothership, and I just get murdered in an alley.
Yo, Star Children. Have we done an episode on Star Children?
No, because they're part of the hybrid program from the Greys. So in talking about the Greys, we've talked about Star Children.
Right, of course.
We talked a little bit about mothering baby Star Children on their ship last episode.
The hybrid program from the Greys.
Come on, man. Hold on to your fucking, the information. I am filling your head with information that is actively removing useful information from your brain. So the least you could do is try to hold on to what I teach you.
No, I mean, you're right. I'm stupid.
Hey, Mathis.
Yeah.
Speaking of the live show, wouldn't it be crazy if there was like a high concentration of like UFO fans in one particular area? Like, wouldn't it be crazy if a lot of the people that claim to be abducted all the time, like had like stories and accounts of something like that happening to them?
Like a support group kind of convention style?
Yeah, like they come together to share stories about being abducted. I feel like it would raise the amount of abductions that would happen in a particular area. What do you think about that?
Do you think it might raise the vibrational state of our species?
I think so. I think that makes sense to me, what you're saying.
Well, it's funny you say that because this happened before, actually, back in 1994. Wild time over on Coronado in San Diego.
Isn't that when Bill Clinton was president?
It was, and he was there, which was really strange.
No! Shut the fuck up.
Though the thing is, his piece in this story has sadly come and gone. He was there when it happened is basically...
I'm being so... Alex, are we the same way? I'm being real good right now.
Uh-oh.
That was the easiest joke in the history of jokes. I'm being a good boy.
It didn't click with me. You might as well make that joke, though. Come on. No, you're just going to hold it? All right.
Everybody knows who knows. If you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Keep it to yourself. You got it. Okay.
Well, are you an FOB? Are you a friend of Bill?
A friend of Bill. I bet you he makes little pins that say that.
Are you an FOB?
And he hands them out to a very specific...
I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
You don't think so?
No.
All right.
He said, I do not have that type of pin.
All right. Well, let's, I guess, redirect to the actual topic today, I guess. Today, everybody, is the final episode of the Coronado group abduction over from 1994, which involved multiple people being taken away from a UFO convention of a sort, where people who've had experiences and other professionals in the field come together, share stories, tell their tales, or give their theories. If you've ever gone... I would love, by the way, to go to a UFO convention with the two of you. Like,
okay,
I would utterly love to do that, and then we could talk about that on like a mini-sode or something, and then eventually it'll make its way public.
This is official. Okay, what's the email to email the Chilluminati podcast if you are...
Chilluminatipod@gmail.com is very easy.
Chilluminatipod@gmail.com. If you are the organizer of a convention, all it will take is to fly us there.
Yeah, we'll just go.
Just fly us there. Just put us up in a hotel room.
We don't even...
We'll do a panel.
We don't even need to fly. UFO Festival, Roswell, New Mexico, June 30th, July 2nd, 2023. Let's go.
I just say, let's just go. Do it. Let's just go. I would love to. If they do panels, oh man, I don't know what we would do at a UFO convention panel other than just like an episode about aliens, but I feel like we might stick out if we kind of did that.
Ozark Mountain UFO Conference 2023, April 14th. Give us 35th anniversary.
Let's go.
Give us a call.
Let's go.
Wait, what? Like, where's Ozark? Where's Ozark? Where?
Ozark Mountain.
Where's that?
At Ozark Mountain. I don't know, bro.
I don't know. I just know like what state is that? You know,
the International UFO Conference. Invite us. Annual Philadelphia UFO Conference. We'll show up, bro.
The Ozarks are in Arkansas.
Okay. So that's where I was like, kind of like trying to figure out. Anyway,
that's pretty close.
Yeah, that is pretty close. We definitely have to do one. End of story. We'll do. If we can go to the Roswell one next year, I'm in. That feels like the perfect one to be our first one. Like, let's just make it a thing. We'll 100%. Definitely do it. I'll make that happen. All right.
I could just drive there. It's so easy. Yeah.
And it's like quick go. Yeah. Oh, I could just drive. I could drive there too. I'm even close. Am I closer than you? Whatever.
You're pretty close. Yeah.
I'm getting distracted, boys. We have to talk about the aliens today. So if you don't remember, go back to last episode. In the second episode, we really took a deep dive into one specific abduction scenario that happened that night in the Coronado group abduction. Though we talked a little bit about what her roommate may have seen and the screams of Mike from the room over and others, we just mostly focused on Alice, who had a typical kind of gray experience of an abduction where they showed up, she couldn't move, they took her into the ship, did some weird things. She found a supposed potential implant that was found in her left shin that was taken out a while later. I think it was a couple years later or something along those lines. And that's really, we kind of just took a deep dive into that. Today, we're going to do a bit more of a rapid pace. Instead of going through every single one, we're going to cover about 5 of them. And instead of going through the interviews and covering their life stories, we're just going to talk about their Coronado experience, because all of them have some sort of abduction experience in their past, very specifically in their childhood, with beings that are either similar or completely different. One of them in particular had praying mantis experiences, but at the Coronado group abduction, it was more of a gray experience, which seems to be the kind of resonating note between all of these experiences. But again, we'll talk more about that as we move through. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode, and I kid you not, as I'm sitting here recording this ad, my HelloFresh is cooking in the kitchen right next to me, and it smells incredibly freaking good. It's doing a lemony chicken pasta, or should I say spaghetti tonight. It's one of my favorite dishes. I've done it like, hey, do you know what HelloFresh is? Well, if you don't, it's what you get when you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. You get to skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking fun, easy, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit, and they aren't kidding when they say it's fun, easy, and affordable. It's probably the easiest I've ever had. Like 6-step instructions is pretty easy. Listen, if you're heading out for one last vacation, you might as well go ahead and update your delivery address if you have HelloFresh already, and they'll deliver it right to your vacation destination. Plans are flexible, so they can also work around your changing schedule. HelloFresh is gearing up for a busy fall season with over 55 weekly options and to take the stress out of meal planning and prepping for you. From family-friendly to fit and wholesome and even veggie, HelloFresh has tasty and nutritious meals sure to please everyone. And if you need just another reason to choose HelloFresh, did you know HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than dining at a restaurant and is even cheaper than grocery shopping? That's literally money back in your pocket. If this all sounds great to you, go to HelloFresh.com/chill16 and use code chill16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/chill16 with our promo code chill16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. Thanks again to HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Where I want to start is actually with Alice's roommate. Alice's roommate was named Lacey, if you don't remember, and she spent the night in that room while Alice was taken and then put back with the blanket around her neck, and it was all weird looking. Does that all sound
or whatever
familiar?
happened. Or whatever happened, because at one point, one person couldn't see the other person while they were in the room.
Correct.
And the other person couldn't see the other person while they were in the room. So who the fuck knows what happened? All they remember was like a face close to them that was like also kind of like it was
we
there.
We saw the
and
illustration. That was like a dude like, yeah! It was right up in her face.
Yep, exactly.
But the idea was there was like some sort of mental suppression.
Yes.
Right? Like that was like the vibes that I was sort of picking up.
Which is very in line with Greys, as they typically like put their hand on your head and suddenly you feel no pain, or suddenly you're calm and you can't move. So yeah, there was exactly that. And Lacey, again, much like Alice, has had experiences in her childhood with abduction scenarios and the like. And in fact, at one point, claims that the one of the aliens at some point sent her back talking about techniques of being able to release energy from a field of 0 point energy. And I am going to give the quote from Lacey herself as to what she said. So she said that they need to learn, humans, something about energy use, and I'm supposed to give information about the restructuring of electrons and the use of ions. If you reverse the process, electromagnetic pulsation would be a cleaner energy, and that it would be an inexhaustible energy. So that was the message Lacey returned with. She doesn't have more details than that, though there is some scientific theories out there that do back up what she's talking about. In particular, the author of this book brings up according to quantum field theory, the fabric of space is not empty, but is seething with energy in forms of photons, electrons, protons, neutrons, other subatomic particles, which are present in the form of particle-antiparticle pairs, which appear and annihilate with each other within the time allotted by the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. And if you ask me what that is, I'm going to tell you I'm not a scientist. I have no freaking idea. And
if you want to find out, just why don't you watch Breaking Bad, okay?
Just watch something that will teach you about it. Basically, matter could not exist without the field of 0 point energy, and all physical forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, nuclear forces arise from this 0 point energy theorized. It could also be as like a non-polluting and inexhaustible form of energy, blah, 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 blah. The point is, this is the message she was sent back with, which is, again, kind of weird. Why her? Why this message? And much like people who have encounters with alien beings that get sent back with a message, it's more about improving humanity, running cleaner energy, almost like this veil of, stop destroying yourselves, stop dirtying your planet. And it's just another kind of bizarre thing. Again, she has no details beyond that, and she never really went on to give any formulas or anything. That's all she had. And I'm imagining most people in the higher ups of our government did not ever hear about her, nor her 0 point energy message at all.
Though it does sound bizarrely similar to the crafts that we've been seeing the last couple of years in the media, and the things they're capable of, and the things that documentation said just the other day.
Yeah, and that little video that kind of popped up online that got deleted by the DOJ of a weird craft kind of hovering over, like moving over a place, and then it disappeared or like flew off. I can't fully remember, but Jesse, you're the one that actually sent it, which is always surprising when I get an alien link from you. So.
I know you'll like it.
He's like, this'll fuck him up.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm like, oh, Matt's gonna lose it over this.
We're gonna talk about what happened with Lacey that night, what she went through, what she saw, and how it lines up with what Alice's testimony was, and if it really lines up at all. So I'm gonna give you boys, much like last time, the regression script, I guess we'll call it, and from there. We'll just kind of move forward again. It won't be like last time where there's like 10 pages for you to read. So we're going to not be doing all of that. So let's start here. Who was the doctor last time?
Let's see if I can bring this guy back to life. Ready?
It's a woman. Okay. First of all,
but the guy that I was.
Oh, you know what I mean? Yeah. I got you. I
want to hit the same voice. Okay, Lacey, now take a deep breath. On that Friday, you were there in San Diego. It's much, much later when you and Alice came back to your hotel, back to your room. It's later that night. You decided at about 11 o'clock that you are ready to go to bed. Just feel yourself now, just lying there at night, ready to go to sleep.
Question, was I?
You were Alice last time, but now you're Lacey.
So now I'm Lacey?
Now you're Lacey. And you gave Alice, like, remember, they're in their 40s. You kind of gave her like
Right.
Yeah,
oh, no, I
get
it. I get it.
Lacey takes a deep breath, clears her throat.
I'm going to take a shower in the morning.
Oh, okay. She's out of Louisiana. Okay.
We've got to have the fan on. It's too hot. It's on low. Alice gets a blanket. Tired.
There is a long pause. She moves
Jesse
around on the
hot
couch.
Roof.
So she moves around on the couch restlessly and then whispers.
Alice, do you see that? Alice, where are you?
What's happening, Lacey?
I can't find Alice. She's not in her bed. Oh, my God. What are you doing down there? What's the matter? Oh.
So your line kind of got merged into her line because the editing of this book isn't phenomenal.
Oh, there it is. Tell me what's happening.
Alice, she's on the floor by the bed. She's not on the bed. She's on the floor. She's crying. Oh, I tell her to stay there. Be quiet.
Oh, so maybe she just fell out of bed.
It's possible. It's possible.
Maybe. I mean, like, you know, she was, one of them saw the other one missing.
Yes.
And one of them maybe thought the other one was also missing, but had also maybe just fallen on the floor. I don't know. Alice is crying?
Yeah. Oh, God, Alice, be quiet. Why she
You're safe now, Lacey. Just tell me what's happening.
Why is she saying be quiet? Because the creatures are in the room.
They're in the room then?
Yeah, continue. Continue the regression.
Yeah, okay. She's scared because these really weird looking things. I don't know what they are. They're real.
Is your next page right there?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I just don't want to I don't want to overflow you like last time with too many links.
Colored gray, and they came in the room. There's a lot, and then they just walk right by my bed. Oh my God, they took Alice. Oh.
Okay, Lacey, take a deep breath. You're going to continue to describe what is happening. Just verbalize everything.
Oh God.
How many of those things do you see?
There are 3. Oh God.
Lacey, you're all right. You're in a safe place now. Just describe what is happening. You're doing just fine.
I'm afraid.
She coughs, clears her throat, and sighs tearfully.
Take a deep breath. Nothing can hurt you. Listen to my voice. You are just reporting what's happening. You are able to tell me everything that is happening.
I've never seen anything like this before in my life. I don't know. Alice isn't there. I can't find her, and the light is really bright. They took Alice.
Before we move on, it's important to note Lacey's experiences prior haven't been with the Greys. They were with what she would consider insect-looking praying mantis type of creatures.
Mantis men, yeah.
So yeah,
Wait, so she's more afraid of the Greys than the mantis men?
She's never experienced the Greys before.
She's just used to the mantis men.
She's only seen and experienced one type of alien.
Used to the mantis men?
I don't think you get used to it. As Alex kind of
I can get used to anything. I can get used to anything, man.
I guess if it happens enough.
Trust me, man. I'm in my 30s now.
Yeah. So this is her first time actually encountering the Greys. So you could take it from there.
What do they look like, Lacey? Just describe what they look like. Remember, you're just reporting now. It's not happening, Lacey.
She gasps, catch her breath, and she begins to whisper.
They're real creepy. They look like they're real big-headed with big black eyes, and I don't know who they are. They just walk right by me. I told her to be quiet. I told her.
Oh, God. So Lacey at this point was so upset that she had to spend a few minutes trying to talk her and calm her down before she continued on with before Lacey would continue on. But she was suddenly agitated at this point.
I can hear someone screaming. Oh, who else is gone? I can hear someone screaming.
Where do you hear the screaming?
Oh, it sounds like it's next to me. It's not in the room. I'm all by myself. There's someone screaming.
Just trying to catch her breath.
Lacey, are you in bed? Are you in bed right now?
What are you wearing?
I'm afraid to move. I don't want to move.
Are they still there?
No. I'm all by myself and Alice isn't here and I don't want to move. I don't want to move.
Now look around you, Lacey. Is your room light or dark?
Dark. So dark. It's quiet. Quiet. I told her. Oh, she couldn't be my friend because something would happen to her and I knew it would. This will never stop.
So at this point, Yvonne's unable to actually make her press further. She's too sad and crying. And so the session ends up ending. She just seemed to refuse to move on. If you remember from last episode too, Lacey the next morning felt guilty once they all kind of realized something had happened, and she blamed herself. And she believes that she was the reason that these things even came in to get them, even though they weren't creatures or beings that she had ever encountered in her past before. So she still, though, blamed herself. And this was so intense, I guess, that she didn't come back for another session. She refused to come back for another session for 3 years. It wouldn't be until March 6th of 97 that she would actually go back and do another session with the doctor and actually try and talk and find more detail as to what happened and what happened to them that night.
Did something go down in 97, like a documentary or something?
Good question. I don't think so.
Because it just seems like everybody kind of like got back together in 1997.
Yeah, there's a few of them kind of come back a few years later. Some of them come back in 2003, which we'll look at in a future one. But the last bit of the Lacey's, we're just going to give the last bit of when she does this second regression again, the details that she's able to see and put forward this time. And then we'll move on to the next one, which is the man screaming in the next room, the man by the name of Mike, who, if you keep in mind, woke up the next morning with blood on his pillow and didn't know where it came from and had no visible wounds on his chin or anything, though he tried to find excuses to the best he could. But we'll get to that next. This is the next bit of the regression starting in 3 years later.
So for the record, just as a reminder, the next day after all this happened, they went out to breakfast
and had a chat about it
and had a talk about this whole thing. And then half the people that went to attend this UFO conference thing didn't go. One dude went off to go like to the mall or something with his family or like his kids. So basically they all got messed up according to them, and they didn't even want to go to the UFO conference, which, okay.
So this next one is going to start with Lacey actually giving an answer. She's basically just asking, what time is it on the clock, and can you see the clock?
I don't know what time. It's late. I'm so tired. I'm just going to sleep. I'm trying to avoid a light in the room. It's coming through the window.
Okay, Lacey, just describe the light. Which bed are you in?
The one by the wall where the window is. It's a huge...
What is up with that? What is up with that one weird-ass typo?
The whole fucking book, every time the word huge is supposed to show up, it's Hugh, and I don't understand.
I'm not saying why. if you can't autocorrect that, if you can't like do a word search, and if you're not using like, I don't know, Microsoft Word to make this thing, already questioning whether any of this is real. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm gonna picture that. I'm gonna choose to believe that someone's editor was like, "You say huge way too much," and they're like, "No, I don't. Nobody would notice." And they're like, "Oh yeah."
So it's a huge light. A huge light.
A huge light. I can hear Alice whimpering. I'm trying to avoid the light. The light moved. It's even brighter. Oh my God. Alice is crying. She's very upset and the room is dark, but there's a light, like a beam. I'm getting out of bed. There's a nightstand between the beds. I have one hand on the nightstand and I can't find her in her bed. And she's crying and whining and saying no, but not in her bed.
Got her.
Oh, she's next to a bed and the wall near the closet. She's huddled on the floor. Oh, I'm telling her to be quiet so they won't see us. I know they're not for me.
I just want to say, I don't know why this voice works so perfectly for this character, and you didn't even know what you were getting, and it just worked. It's like perfect. I did not read her in a Louisiana accent when I was making the episode,
Sometimes
but now
it just be like this, Shug.
Oh God.
Mathis, you and I are going to take a little 101 improv class together, and it's going to be a good time.
I would love to. That'd be fun.
What makes you feel like they're not there for you, Lacey?
It's a different light, different sound, different hum. Oh, through the window, these small beings, they're opaque and they smell.
So again, another cutoff when she says, like, why are they not there for you? The light, sound, hum, the bug creatures that come for her, they have similar, like a different colored light, and there's a different humming noise that comes, maybe representative of a different engine or different technology or whatever. So she just knew simply from the sound.
How do they smell?
They smell like rotten eggs and sulfur. I'm trying to make Alice be quiet. They see me and they avoid me. They're taking Alice.
How many do you see, Lacey?
I know there are two, and I'm feeling there's a third one by the window.
Can you describe what they look like?
They're opaque and very small, kind of smooth, unborn looking, very large eyes, no hair. The eyes seem to recess, but then black bulges out. These are the strangest looking things.
And they're tall?
No, they're very small, and they take Alice like this.
So at that point, she literally...
I'm doing it.
Yeah. At that point, she's literally demonstrating how they're taking her away, and kind of just trying to show her. And that's where the interview, the session continues.
Yeah, they do this to her.
I guess I'm showing him.
Yeah, exactly. And then I should have already given you the link.
It's okay. Oh boy, the images of these guys.
Oh yeah, more images.
Yeah.
Take it away, Alex.
Lacey is demonstrating.
Yep, so like I said, Lacey's like showing how she's carrying the thing with her arms.
So they carry her?
They don't touch her. They did this with her in the air. I don't know if they're gonna bring her back. I told her we shouldn't share a room, but she wouldn't listen, and I know they weren't there for me. I know.
Again, this is where last time she kind of hit a block, so it was imperative to Yvonne to try and make sure she pushes through, and we see what happens following.
Was Alice awake when they took her?
It's a long pause.
She stopped crying.
Excellent long pause. Now she's very strained and becoming agitated, trying not to cry.
There's this huge screaming. I spelled huge right there. There's a huge screaming coming from the next door where Mike and his wife are.
Oh, she's suddenly scared and sobbing.
Screaming?
I can hear him. I can hear a man screaming.
You can hear a man screaming coming from where Mike is staying?
Yeah. The room is next door, and I know it's Mike. He's screaming. Oh, God, that's a terrible scream. It's like an animal screaming. Oh, I'm all alone.
Lacey, you are safe now. Take some deep breaths. You're doing fine. You will be able to describe everything without the fear. Just report what you see, feel, hear. Just describe.
I know the light is back. I'm afraid to move. Bring Alice back. Even.
How do you know Alice is back?
They bring her back through the window. She looks really pale. Oh, I feel so guilty. I'm not brave. I don't know. I don't know why.
Now you know deep inside that it's not your fault. You know that, Lacey. Just look around the room and verbalize what is happening. Use all of your senses.
Alice looks really sick. She looks dead.
You know Alice is not dead. She is alive and well. Just tell me what's happening. Everything is very sharp and clear.
They don't know what to do with the blanket. They don't know how to put the blanket on. The blanket I got from the closet.
She pauses as if she's assessing the situation.
They lay it this way on her neck.
And then she does the weird, like, neck choking thing.
Yeah. She's just doing like a weird horizontal movement.
Horizontally. It drapes in the floor as if to hold it down. Oh, they see me watching.
Now she physically during the session cowers as though she's trying to like kind of hide from them.
It's morning. I look over at Alice and she notices the blanket on her neck. And Mike's knocking on the door and Alice opens the door because he wouldn't shut up and she has a jammies on.
And
we get dressed and meet Mike and his wife at the pancake house. And we're sitting at a table and I'm facing the window sitting next to Alice. And Mike's looking over at me. He says, something happened last night. And I tell him, I don't want to discuss it. I'm on vacation. He's laughing and he's telling me you woke up with cuts and I don't want to discuss it. I told him to shut up.
And actually, we can end it there with this particular regression as they just kind of go on to talk about the morning, similar things that we talked about last time as well. And you can actually ignore the link I actually just put in there, so don't worry about that. But essentially, remember, Mike said they came up with excuses like a cut on his chin when there was no physical cut there, yet there was still blood on the pillow. Now, he could have scratched himself in the middle of the night, something along those lines, and yet still no physical evidence. But that's kind of where the Lacey Alice story, we're kind of put it to bed. We got to see Lacey's side. She saw the creatures come in. They took Alice away for a little bit and then did that weird thing with the blanket where they just didn't understand what the fuck it was. And I just always think about Betty and Barney Hill the same way really with like weird, a zipper in the dress. And they're just like, I don't understand. And that's, you know, and it's just, again, a lot of things, the smell of sulfur, the way they look, how short they are, all of that is so typical of a gray abduction scenario. And it's fascinating that they carry over each time. But now we're going to talk about the man who was screaming in the next room, Mike. Now, Mike had also... Yeah, Mike. What a great name. And it wasn't me. I wish it was, but it's just... Unfortunately, it never was. I wish I was the one being abducted.
True regret.
Always a reader, never an abductee.
Exactly. And maybe it's because I want it too bad. But I feel like, don't you want somebody who wants it bad? Like, you keep sending these people back with messages that need to be told to people. Stop taking people who get scared. Take someone who's readily available and willing to go with you. Just take me with you.
This is the plot of 27 Dresses. The movie.
You're trying too hard, dude. That's the problem.
But how? I mean, like, am I trying too hard?
Aliens like a little chase.
But like, at what point?
Aliens like you don't want to like put yourself out there like that. Aliens?
Are you sure?
Like a little chase, bro. Yeah, you got to be like, what? No, not me. Don't abduct me. Oh no.
You have to be like, I don't even believe in aliens.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
I don't even believe in aliens that much. That's what you should say.
Aliens are stupid. Only idiots believe in aliens.
If they're psychic, it's too late. I'm fucked. Like, they know. They'll always know how bad I want it. And for that
That's
reason.
why you have to believe it. You have to really, like, when they look at you, you got to be like, I don't even think you're real right now. Oh my God. Are you going to kidnap me?
What's the name of that book by that guy who wears that stupid ass hat? What the hell is that?
Book by the guy that wears that stupid ass hat.
Yes. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's what his name is, right? The pickup artist?
The pickup artist. Yeah, that guy.
You remember that?
Oh, that weirdo. Yeah.
That sounds
familiar. His name is like Doctor Strange or something. I can't remember. I can't remember what it is.
Strange. Fantastic, dude. Fantastic.
I swear to God, I swear to God. Hold
on. Stop it. Stop trying to kidnap me, aliens. Yeah, you gotta just play coy.
Mystery. His name is fucking Mystery, dude.
Mystery? That's even worse.
Mystery with his wings. J-Dog and James Matador.
All right, let's move forward. So Mike Evans is the next one who was abducted, just a room over from them. And much like,
this is the chin guy?
Yeah, guy with blood on his pillow. And Mike, much like them, had not only instances of potential, we'll say potential because we don't have physical evidence, abductions when he was 8 and 10 years old, but he also had an encounter when he was in the military at the age of 19 that he talks about when he was out and deployed on a ship over by, he was returning to Hawaii from the Philippines. And he writes this about that particular sighting. I noticed these lights coming toward us, huge lights in a straight line. There were about 5 to 7 of them. They traveled in a straight line. They moved at 90-degree angles to the right. Everybody saw them. I made a notation in the ship's log. They went right over the ship. They crisscrossed the sky. I thought it was really great. I saw my first UFO. After my year on board the USS Fire Drake, Mike was stationed at Camp Pendleton, a Marine base located in Oceanside, California, where he also recalls seeing bright lights outside of his barracks on 2 separate occasions. And an excerpt from Mike's book says the following, quote, I had a bunk that was right next to the window, and I remember waking up and seeing the whole yard outside lit up, like bright daylight outside. I woke up, saw it, and went back to sleep. But it's always in my memory as something important to remember. I thought it was very strange, and I still do, and it happened twice. So he had a couple of encounters that are pretty, minus the weird waking up to the lights one, the UFO zipping over boats and stuff. That's a pretty common sight out on from like Navy people and Air Force folk. And he says he notated it in the ship's log. I don't know how, like, we do have people who have and do serve in the Navy. So for those out there who, like, how easy is that, like, kept somewhere secure as like records, or are these things like eventually kind of rotated out and gone? I'm curious if there's actual evidence of his notating it down. Not that it, this particular story, not that it would, completely cast doubt on everything, but it would still cast some doubt on a story.
It would at least be nice to see, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to, I wonder. So please, thank you for those who have answered my questions in the past. If you could answer that one, that would be fantastic. So we're going to fast forward now into that very same night. And this is another regression session. This time you're, at this point, he's in his like late 30s, early 40s, like the rest of them, old Navy guy. And, kind of imbue what you think that deserves, Jesse, as we move into this next character study of Mike Evans. This is good practice for you. This is not bad.
Yeah, for all my
all your improv needs. You know what I mean?
Improv needs. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Oh boy.
So we're gonna see where maybe this blood came from.
Okay, Mike. Good. Now take a look at a clock or your watch and tell me what time it is.
I think it's about 8 o'clock.
Nice.
Okay, just feel yourself in your room with Gina. Everything is very sharp and clear. Continue describing what you're doing.
Yeah, put the suitcase on the dresser and close the blinds so we could get undressed. Gina puts her nightgown on and brushes her teeth. I think she likes the room. I brought plenty of things to read, but I'm really tired. I think I'm reading a UFO magazine. Gina's reading a book.
Are you lying in bed as you're reading UFO magazine?
Yeah, but I'm tired. Gina's putting the book away. She's tired. But she puts her light out, and I put mine out, and I give her a kiss and go to sleep.
It's a long pause, and he takes a deep breath.
This light is coming through the window. It's waking me up.
What position are you in?
I'm on my back. Why are you asking? What, you into that?
You want to... I don't know. I'm not saying it.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right.
It's part of the hypnosis. That's all.
I see the light. It's like a light. The light's coming through, but the blinds, between the blinds, even it wakes me up.
I love how he just, even in the text, he just seems annoyed by it. He's just like, this is fucking obnoxious.
Yeah. Are you lying on your back in the bed looking at the light?
I'm just looking at the light. It's bright. It's gotten very light in the room.
Are you looking around the room?
Looking around the room. It's very light. It's
just verbalize what you're feeling, thinking, experiencing.
I just have the feeling that there's something in the room there. I can't see. There's a lot of light, and I see like shadows. It's foggy lit, and I see shadows in the light.
Okay, Mike, take a good look around the room and the shadows in the light. How many shadows do you see?
I think I see 4.
And where do you see the shadows?
I see them in front of the bed. Yeah, I see one of them come. One of them is over on my side, on my right side. I see him looking down at me. It's...
Okay, Mike, you're safe now. Just describe who's looking at you.
Yeah, he has big eyes. He's looking down at me.
How close is he to you?
The one on my right is like right down in my face.
Are you looking at him?
No. Looking at these figures at the foot of the bed, it's like this this light pouring through the window, and they're standing in this. It's milky white light. It makes it very hard to see anything. Detail, I don't know.
Now focus on the one on your right side. Is he doing anything?
He's just looking at me. I thought I caught a glimpse of something. He's turning my head, but
You're doing fine, Mike. Concentrate on your head. Get a sense of how it feels. Does it feel he's turning your head?
I thought I saw a hand coming with something in his hand.
Okay, Mike. Just focus on his hand. You can see it clearly. Just tell me what's happening.
I think he's turning my head. He has something in his hand. It's like a long object. It has something. He's doing something to my ear.
Okay. Just stay focused on what's happening to your ear. Everything's coming in very sharp and clear. Do you feel any pain?
I don't feel any pain. He turns my head and puts this thing in my ear. I don't feel anything.
You can see some pictures in this next bit here, boys. You can kind of describe what you're looking at. These are the drawings of Mike from 94. This actually came March of 94, so like shortly after the event itself. You can take a look at those. It's just like the bottom one's just like a picture of a gray.
The image is interesting because if you imagine your average hotel room, there's the bed, the TV across from it, and then there's the bathroom, the door, and then there's like the window bit, right?
Yep.
And this dude is sleeping closest to the door, which is like, a very like dude thing to do. Like, I'll protect you if anyone comes in through the door, right? Like, I get it. But what's interesting to me is they came in through the window and then went around the bed to him. One got up in his face, apparently.
Yeah, one got really close to his face.
But the other just sitting at the edge of the bed. And I'm very curious why they posted up there rather than next to the gray messing with the ear.
Good question. Why do they need 4 of them in the room if one gray can keep him down with just a thought and one, there's a lot of questions.
And if they're there to watch, why aren't they close to the person? Why are they at the opposite? Like one of them, I'll call him Gray 4, is like totally diagonal from Gray 1, who's doing the like ear thing. What is he seeing? How can he see anything? He got the big stupid eyes. Why can't he see it?
UFO convention is like fish in a barrel, right? It's like a lot higher concentration.
I love that.
Right? So maybe this is like student driver, like when you watch a surgery, maybe like when you're from the observation deck in like a surgery hall, like when Jerry and Kramer have the junior mints. You know what I'm saying?
I think couldn't he just transmit what Gray 4 is seeing or whatever? Couldn't they just like see each other's sights?
Maybe. I don't know how
it doesn't seem like they are able to share
X-Men powers they got.
It doesn't seem like they're able to, from looking back at what I know about Grays, it doesn't seem like they're able to like share perspectives with one another. It's more that they can just instantly communicate via thought, like just whatever language it is they're using. And people have heard them make noise, but it's always like this weird low, like nonsense, kind of like grumbly whisper type thing. I don't know if it's like that, but yeah, it's interesting that the 3 of them are just sitting by the bed.
You're doing fine, Mike. Just relax and take a deep breath. And now I'll start reading. You're doing fine, Mike. Just relax and take a deep breath as you are able to see everything that is happening very clearly. Now get in touch with your body. What position are you in now?
I'm on my back. That being is just looking at me. Oh, they all leave? They just left. They were in the light and it got dark in the room.
Is Gina still asleep?
Yeah, I think. Oh, my neck hurts. I want to go back to sleep.
Which part of your neck?
My left side. It's dark in the room now. Going back to sleep.
Okay, Mike, just relax. You wake up in the morning. Tell me what time it is.
I think around 6:30. It's nice. It's sunny out. I brush my teeth, take a shower. Gina always wants me to get her a cup of coffee, so I get dressed and go downstairs. They have this nice little kitchen area down on the second floor, and going down the old stairs, they go creak, creak, creak. I get some coffee, and I go back up, and I give her the coffee.
Okay, keep describing the morning.
I tell Gina we better go wake Alice or Lacey, or we'll never get going. You know, women. Am I right, Doc?
Dude, wait, you say that, but that's going to come back oddly. It's such a weird little thing.
I'm getting a vibe is what I'm getting.
No, not from this guy in particular. Not from this guy in particular.
I'm a woman as well, Mike.
Well, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Am I right? Pound it.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to pound it just so we can get on with it.
We can actually stop there. At this point, the stories kind of connect.
I take back my pound.
Yeah, there you go.
You can't take it back. A pound is in the ground.
I want to unpound my pound.
You can't take it back, Doc.
The pound.
I want to unpound my pound.
You can't unpound, Doc. Once it's pound, it's for
Mike,
life.
unpound my hand.
Nope.
Mike, unpound me.
Nope. Hold my hand, Doc. We're going through this together.
Unpound me now, Mike.
Nope.
Mike, I don't care how many aliens you've seen. Unpound my hand right now.
I can't do that, Doc.
You unpound my hand.
It's as firm as steel.
You're moving your hand and you're unpounding my hand.
Nope, I'm not doing it. That's not me. Oh my God, something's moving my hand, Doc.
Today's episode is sponsored by Honey, the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or your computer. You know, with online shopping, it's like my favorite thing to do in the world, and I've had Honey now on my computer for a good long time. Honey goes out there and manually searches for coupon codes. You know, you don't have to worry about doing it yourself. That's all a thing of the past. And Honey is a free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best ones to your cart. And for myself, I've been saving up for a while. I'm just gonna tell you. I've been saving up for a while to get myself the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 arcade cabinet that's relaunching very soon. And I was looking around at other arcade cabinets that I wanted, including the Simpsons one. And as I was looking around, I realized Honey had a coupon for the Simpsons arcade cabinet over on Amazon. And that was, I'm not going to say I didn't buy it, but I also am not going to say I bought it. I just can't. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites, and when you check out, the Honey button appears, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find, and bam, all the discounts are thrown on there, and you just watch the prices drop. And if you didn't know, Honey doesn't just have a desktop app. It works on your iPhone too, which is actually how I saw that there was a discount happening on the arcade cabinet. All you got to do is activate it on Safari on your phone, and yeah, done. You're save on the go. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting our podcast. I'd never recommend anything I don't use, so make sure you go ahead and get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/chill. Simple as that. joinhoney.com/chill. So this is this is where the stories connect. They go knock on the door and whatnot. Now, what's interesting about his recollection is he doesn't say he screamed. It doesn't sound like he made any noise. And yet, Alice and Lacey say they did hear screaming coming from his room, specifically a male voice, which would be Mike. And that's a little inconsistency with the two abduction scenarios. Now, does that cast doubt, or does it actually add credence that their stories don't match? And they stick with that they don't match. They didn't like line up their stories, at a coffee table to be like, all right, here's what happened. No, they stick with it.
It's annoying because we're talking about a story about aliens that can like control your brain and your perception. It's a story of like, oh my God, they're making me forget. I can't see. Oh my God, they're erasing my memories. I can see it. Oh no. So it's like, who fucking knows? Like, Did they talk before this? I have no idea. Like, were they able to share their story before they were hypnotized? I don't know.
And unfortunately, we won't know.
I mean, the problem with this is what we noticed from the very first person that we looked at. She went in for one, and that was apparently very quickly after, but it was still a few days. And then it wasn't very clear. It was pretty vague. And then 3 years later, she comes in like, this is what happened. So to me, that still rings of, and I said it last time, I'll say it again, of like, you hearing enough of a story from your parents that eventually you just accept it as complete truth, and you feel like you were there and a part of it because your parents told it to you so much that you're just like, oh yeah, I remember that.
I mean, that goes into what might have happened, which is the group hallucination theory. Like, people can do that. I forget what the actual scientific term is. It's like, I don't know what I'm not going to try to remember.
No, but it's real.
It's a real thing.
Like, yeah, that's like actual science.
Yeah, and that may have happened here too. We don't know. And if people are all, like Jesse points out, they're all there for a particular reason. They all believe they've had experiences as kids, and now they all wake up not feeling so good, and they kind of get together, and all of a sudden, pieces start coming out of one person, and the other person kind of is like, oh, I heard this. And then, you can see how a story can potentially build here.
It is literally like I was about to call it the Scarlet Letter, but that's not true. It's the Crucible. Yeah, the Crucible. Right. It's straight up just like one girl gets them all worked up, and then everyone in the town's like, whoa! And it can happen.
If you're like me and want to believe, it's still very important to keep this in mind that this is a distinct possibility, because it's something that people have experienced many, many times in the past. And another thing is alien abductions. A lot of the people who claim they had young alien encounters as kids, it's just their brain covering for trauma that happened to them, whether from family or strangers. And your brain does some crazy shit, man. Like, it can do wild things, but as long as it helps you survive and move forward, the brain will do whatever it has to do to have you be able to do such a thing.
I've seen Moon Knight, so basically I'm a behavior psychologist.
Look, I know this is way off topic, but it's exactly what you're talking about, Mathis. Straight up, on last night, I'm laying in bed reading like a Reddit topic about this woman posted a thing like, I am finally in the happiest place in my life. I am married to this man I've been with for 7 years. He just got an amazing job. We have a new house. Everything is perfect. I want to run from this. I hate this. This perfection is killing me. It's smothering me. I hate all of this. Please, someone tell me I'm in the right for wanting out, because this sucks. Like,
yeah, man.
I hate this. And all the comments are like, see a therapist. That's a problem. What you have isn't like, oh, this is normal. Like, that is clearly trauma manifesting in some way in your life where you can't do like normal existence. You always have to keep pushing, and that's just gonna make shit worse. And then her response was like, screw y'all, I'm out. And I was like, part. Damn.
So like, now I did go get a little personal over here with the Mathis moment. I grew up in a very, very, very tumultuous household. I'm sure a lot of us in the YouTube industry probably did in some fashion or another.
Are you saying that this is some sort of outlet?
Just a weird one.
That our trauma pushes us to create weird videos for attention from others? What?
But weird.
I'm fine.
Because
guys, I'm fine.
My mom was very severely mentally ill, and it just meant my whole life you live in emergency mode. You live in survival mode. You're listening for every little change in someone's behavior to get ahead of something. And when you finally are out of that and you're living a calm, peaceful life, it feels wrong. You feel like you're doing something wrong. And that exactly happened to me. My brain was addicted and didn't know how to live out of survival mode, crisis mode. And you have to unlearn those behaviors, or otherwise it's very easy to go to what you're familiar with. It's not that it makes you happy being back there, but it's what you know. And so you're content and you're comfortable, which is not the same as being happy, which is something that I had to learn the hard way. And a lot of people aren't ready to learn that the hard way. And therapy is what helped me do that. Yeah. And these people would probably do really well with therapy in this book.
Think about if you moved into a mansion tomorrow. No warning, right? Tomorrow night you have to go sleep in a mansion, right? You're not gonna get a good night's sleep. You're not gonna feel great about it. No. You're gonna feel fucked up because your house is gone, even if you live in a shithole. You know what I mean? Like, it's just science.
It was your shithole. You knew where the shit was in your shithole, and now you're in a whole new it might be perfect, but now it's shocking and jarring, and everything about it is different, and it takes time to accept it, and sometimes people just can't.
Yeah. Imagine you're gone and your roommate cleans up your bedroom for you or something, and now you don't know where anything is. It's that vibe.
It's the same. It's your brain a lot of wants that comfort feeling, even if it's not a healthy place for you to be. And positive change can feel like negative change for a long time until you're just through that. I guess that trauma.
I would love to know the number of UFO I'm going to say UFO survivors, I guess, is what I'll say.
Abduction victims.
Abductees, whatever.
Yeah.
How many have gone to a therapist versus I went and saw a like regressionist of some sort or some sort of hypnotist? Like, what was the amount of people that was like, I went and talked to a person because that really scared me versus like I saw a guy and he says that I'm Cleopatra. Like, what is the difference there? I would love to know.
Very solid question.
Yeah, I wonder if that info is out there at somewhere. I kind of want to go look. I've never casually come across that info in all my years of like being into this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know that there's an answer. I would love if someone just with a scientific background that wasn't the three of us, like went and did an actual research study on. I went out and I interviewed people that said they were abducted, and then I asked them flat out, "Have you seen anyone about this?" And get answers. Be super interesting.
It is. And like these people clearly were traumatized by something.
Sure.
Whatever it is that happened, they truly believe something happened. And what's interesting with the Mike situation is much like Alice, there was some physical follow-up that showed something had happened. So first, it's important to note that for Mike, he after that kind of went down, he talks about what he remembers the instrument that looked like. It was like a weird silver instrument that he saw that might have had like a cage-like thing, small cage-like thing at the tip, and it went into his ear. And we're going to go through a little bit more in a second, but the reason this is important is because only a few weeks later, while he was at work, he's a registered nurse, he actually had a hypertensive attack while he was at work. He says he was working in a critical care unit and he suddenly felt dizzy. So they sent him down to where they do the employee health. They looked in his ear and they said that you got to do something about that hole in your ear.
What?
The doctor said, quote, "You've got to stop poking things in your ear because you have a puncture mark." And he said, "Well, I just about fell off the chair." So he got a written report of the MRI that was done, and it says you have a hole in your ear. And we actually have the photo of that MRI report that comes from September 17th, 1994.
We have an actual photo of the report or just the ear?
No, the report, the medical report.
That's crazy.
And there's the photo for you. It's just a medical report that simply says that he had a hole in his ear for one reason or another. He had a puncture wound in his left ear canal.
It's not common for abductees to, or supposed abductees to like have inflicted wounds on themselves, is it?
I was literally about to ask, because this takes place in 97. Is this before or after he went to go do his regression?
This is after he went to do his regression. So this is after the regression.
Years later, right?
Yes, 3 years later.
I thought everything
3 years later.
Everything
almost
came back together in 97.
Again, this is him going September 17th, 1997. He went to go to that's when he had his hypertensive attack.
Sure. I'm positing.
Okay, sorry.
From my asshole in the corner standpoint, then I think Alex kind of brought this up as well. Is it possible that as everyone is coming back in 97 to recant their story, recount their stories of all these things happening, could he have done this to himself and then gone to the doctor and then been like, "Oh, I'm having chest pains or whatever. Take me to the..." Could this be a thing that he did to himself?
I mean, the answer is yes. Of course, it could be. When
there's
no way to know not.
Because if it took place in 94, you said, is the original?
So yeah, March of 1994 is when the abduction event took place. And this hypertensive attack took place on September 17th of 97.
So look, I'm no body expert, but I'm willing to make all the bets in the world that 3 years later this would have healed.
Unless it's some metal or whatever.
But the doctors clearly healed it at this point, right? They were like, "You got to stop doing that."
What's interesting, and I don't know, maybe I'm misunderstanding here, and this is something that it's important to point out. The book specifically says that several weeks following the weekend in Coronado, that they ended up having, that's when he had his hypertensive attack. But I'm trying to figure out, and again, this is
he had a heart attack?
No, that's when he wasn't feeling unwell. But the way it's framed is it sounds like this happened weeks after the abduction event. But as Jesse pointed out, the medical notes that we're looking at, the physical photo of the notes says 97.
Yeah, September 17th, 1997. So it just seems like one of those things where it's been such a long time that I mean, I'm not telling people to go out there and poke themselves, but the body tends, like, if you...
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Like, I'm sure it would fucking heal itself. You know what
even like your ear, stuff heals. Like, your body, you don't just, like, have a hole in you that like, keeps for 3 years That's, yeah, I don't know. I'm actually curious. Punctured ear drum heal time? I guess it would be the only thing. Yeah, it'll usually heal within a few weeks and might not need any treatment. That's what I'm saying. Like, it 3 years later, like, I can imagine if this was a month, 2, 3, even 4 months later, maybe they came back and poked him again. Like, who knows? But years later,
it's possible. I mean, that's also possible. But
years later, around the same time where all of this was going down again, where everyone was like bringing stuff up again, and they now have like big crazy stories with it. I don't know.
Right, because right in the book, it says, I asked for a copy of the written report, and I had an MRI done where they told me there was an anomaly in my ear, and that was, his quote, and that was right after the Coronado incident, which goes to prove that I had something put in my ear. So what is this? So this
could be different. I mean, what he's saying
maybe this is different,
could be different.
Why are they putting this up there maybe as evidence then?
Maybe what he's saying is, and I'll give him this, maybe he's saying that after the incident, he went and had an MRI, they found something, and he was like, damn, that proves that something happened. And this is 3 years later, stuff went down when he was at the hospital, and then he was like, oh boy, I need to get checked out. And then this is what they wrote down as the report. Maybe. But if this is included
the book
in that statement,
super clear on that.
Like if what that says is, oh yeah, I went to the doctor on this thing and I got an MRI, and then they include this as the proof, that's incorrect evidence, right? Like it doesn't match up.
Yeah, because it says, I'm trying to read the actual handwriting on this note, and I'll try to remember to put this on the subreddit as well.
It's in cursive for all the kids out there.
It's in fucking cursive, yeah, and it's in doctor cursive.
Hold on, let me use my I grew up learning cursive.
What is it? The very first thing looks like a number. Go or requested ear exam.
Oh, it could be. Oh no. Oh my God. I'm so good at, I love, boy, oh boy. 49. So it's 49 49-year-old and then male, because that's the symbol for, yeah.
That's the symbol for male, yeah.
Ear exam, requested ear exam.
Reported had noted blood drained ear something.
Reported reddish. Had noted blood drainage from ear this morning.
Yeah, it's dated 97, which is the important bit, which is what puts us into contest with the quote that we're using from him.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm
all right,
saying,
so all right, this changes everything, because it's saying that I don't know what CW means there, but it says that the location, it says healed location, no bleeding, no drainage.
Also, we did get a second checkup in 97 that shows it's been healed.
I mean, I guess that's kind of what they're saying, that it's irritated, and that it's like, he says he noted blood. He said he noted blood, but the doctor said that there's no bleeding and no drainage.
Yeah, and then the addendum says area was noted to
be at approximately 4
o'clock.
Should be at Agnory.
I.e. something wall.
Yeah, something wall. I don't know. Anyway, that's the note. We just spent 10 minutes trying to decipher a doctor's handwriting. There you go. I mean, I'll put this up on the subreddit. Maybe somebody can decipher and break down what this is. Or maybe there's a medical professional who knows better than we do. We have a doctor out. John, if you're listening, homie, tell me what I don't understand what this is. I'll just send it to you. We're going to go now to the last bit where he regresses one more time. And you're going to figure out, Jesse, the answer to your question. What were the little gray dudes doing by his feet?
I can't believe that's the thing that's going to happen.
I love that.
So this starts with, once again, her regressing Mike. And he asks, like, she says, okay, what time is it? What are you doing at night, etc.
Gina has her nightgown on. I can't speak. Hold on. Gina has her nightgown on. She has a book and she's reading. I have my UFO magazine that I'm reading. Very tired. It was a long, long drive. Gina is putting her book away. She's too tired to stay awake any longer. She turns off the light. I'm tired too. I'm putting my book down, give her a kiss, turn off the light. There's a light coming in the room.
Where do you see the light that's coming in the room?
It's shining in my eyes. It's coming between the blinds and the window. I'm sitting up
and I'm thinking how strange it is that hear a plane coming in. It really makes me a little upset.
What is making you upset, Mike?
He's breathing deeply. That wasn't a breathe deeply, but whatever. The light's coming in the window. I lay back down. I'm thinking maybe it'll just go away or turn or something.
Now, Mike, take a look around the room using all of your senses. Are you still seeing the light? Describe what is happening.
I turn on my side. Light's still there. Light's coming through the shades. It's like a bright light coming through. Light's coming in.
Now turn and look at Gina. Is she asleep?
Gina is asleep. Yeah, I think the light, it's getting very bright in the room. Light's coming in, just very bright light in the room. I'm laying on my back. My head is up. I see those things coming through the window.
Okay, everything is very sharp and clear. Describe those things coming through the window.
They're like shadows in the light. They move in. I see 4 shadows. One went across on my right side, and the other 3 stopped at the foot of the bed. I can't see the 3 very well.
Okay. Take a look at the one on your right side. You can see very clearly and describe what he is doing.
It's just looking at me. It has a large head, like a very pointed chin. I can see this one very clearly. Very large, very black eyes. I see a hand coming up. He has something in his hand, long pointed thing. I think he put that in my ear. I don't have pain. I have this buzzing in my ear, high pitched.
Okay. Take a deep breath and describe what's being put into your ear.
I'm trying to take a look at it. It's a small thing that has like a cage over it or something. Oh, that high-pitched noise.
From here, the things kind of break down again. He gets really nervous, and it all kind of comes to an end. He does say that the whole time, the thing on his right-hand side while it was being put into his ear just stared at him just like the whole entire time, and then pulled the thing out with the cage missing at the top or whatever, and said from then on, he kind of had that high-pitched noise coming from his ear. And while that's the end of his particular Coronado experience, he goes on and says, afterward, apparently the abduction scenarios started picking up and they started getting really strange to the point where at one point, they end up taking him, and he describes what basically the Greys do is they put a thin tube up his penis. And
sick.
Yeah, it painful until they take the pain away, and then they bring out what he describes as like a long, thin cup, and they literally do something to a machine, and he says he orgasms, and they collect the seed. So remember when I'm talking orgasm machines from the Greys? Here's another example of what that may or may not be.
This was later, though. You're saying
this was later. He's like, so after the Coronado experience, his abductions started happening more frequently than they had in the past, and that's like they kind of built up to like that, and very strange. It's very strange for them to collect him and do some weird jizz collections. So that's what happened to him.
That is so wild. Everything is so similar.
Exactly. Yeah, everything's very similar. They all run that same thread now.
But this one is years later, though, right? This time he's going back?
The jizz time?
No, the recounting of all this stuff. It's like...
a little under a year, or just about a year later. February 21st, 1995 is when this is coming from. The abduction happened on March 25th, 1994.
None of this... Bless all of their hearts. I really wish them all the best. But it's really hard from an evidentiary standpoint to be like, well, they're all coming from the same place. They clearly, it must be real.
I would have moved faster. Myself.
Yeah, this is why if you ever watch the first 48, shout out to that show. Like the idea of investigations, you gotta if you're doing investigation, you gotta get it quick, or else everything falls apart. And we're at that point where every time something like this happens, it's like, well, 5 years later, after they went back, so much could have happened in that 5 years to convince them of what was real and what wasn't. Or for them to have talked to people and created a story. It all could be lies. All of it. or it could all be real, but we will never know because this is X number of years after the fact.
You get why freaking ufology is so infuriating, Jesse, because that's all we have. And the physical shit we do have is like, okay, maybe it's something, but it also could be nothing. And it's just it's like crazy. It's infuriating. I'm with you.
Aliens with psychic powers. It's like the Descartes situation. It's just a whole problem. It's a whole problem.
Thank you to our longtime partners at Talkspace for sponsoring this episode. Using Talkspace feels a little like having a mental health professional in your pocket at all times. Talkspace offers both therapy and psychiatry, and being able to reach out to my provider anytime, anywhere, makes taking care of my mental health way easy. I'm more relaxed when I'm traveling, knowing that if I need to talk with my therapist, I can just send him a message from wherever I am. Working through things in therapy can be tough, but connecting with my therapist at least isn't. I wholeheartedly recommend Talkspace for therapy. You can sign up online and get a personalized match with a provider that's right for you, usually within about 48 hours. You can text, video, and send voice messages to your licensed therapist, so it's super convenient to have virtual sessions right from the comfort of your home. Talkspace also has thousands of licensed therapists with years of experience in over 40 specialties, including depression, anxiety, substance abuse, trauma, anger management, relationship issues, food and eating, and so much more. Most importantly for me, Talkspace is secure and private, using the latest end-to-end bank-grade encryption technology to store client information and complying with the latest HIPAA regulations. And as a listener of this podcast, you can get $100 off your first month with Talkspace. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com. All you have to do is use our code CHILL to get the $100 off of your first month and show your support for the show. That's the code CHILL at Talkspace.com. Thanks again to Talkspace for sponsoring this episode. Oh, God. So we're going to actually skip over the next one. However, I do want to point out that the next one by a man by the name of Jesse, who had a very similar situation.
Mike and Jesse.
Mike, it was another. Yeah, it's very no Alex though, but there's a Mike and Jesse
and an Alice
and an Alice.
Jesse also heard Mike screaming. Yeah, there was an Alice. He also heard Mike screaming. It was another gray experience. 3 of them this time. And
another multi-gray. All right, look. No offense to the grays. I'm over the grays. We were promised other weird aliens would show up to this event, and so far it's been all grays.
We're getting to some other weirder ones, but I'm sure that's why I'm like, let's get past this Jesse abduction. Again, very similar. There's like eventually 4 show up. One is at his feet, and they like scrape his nails with something, like his toenails, and he doesn't know what they're doing. He can't really see them, but he can just feel them while he sees like a figure. One comes up to the side of him, and they just more shit like just weirdly happens. They leave him in bed and take his wife, and his wife Melanie he sees a light hit her. She levitates, and he's like desperate to try and stop her, but the alien by his bed keeps him down just by like with a touch, and she disappears and eventually comes back with something having happened to her, which Melanie refused to not only be interviewed for this book, she refused to be hypnotically regressed as well. She didn't want to talk about the experience. She wanted to forget Coronado entirely. And the author goes on to say that she respects her wishes and will not push any further about how she feels about that.
Gentlemen,
interesting.
So listeners,
again, another thing where it's so traumatic, some people it can ruin their lives. Like they just don't want to think about it. Barney Hill was like that for a long, long time.
Or it wasn't real and she doesn't want to make stuff up. Anyway.
I mean, I also guess like, so. Look, I don't know if that's
I must say this.
Okay, yeah, please do.
To any alien grays listening, that's some shoddy science work there, pal. You're telling me they went in one room, scratched a guy's feet, went in another room, poked a guy's ear.
All at the same time.
Where is we poked everyone's ear? We scratched
Well, they came back
feet.
and poked
like,
Alice's
there's no scientific method here.
Exactly, though. But that's what's so fucking that's what's so weird. All abduction stories, there's a weird dream almost kind of tinge to it. Like the science doesn't make any sense. It doesn't adhere to any scientific method that we know about. You must understand
how insane it truly, when you think about it, truly, it sounds made up. Like you must understand.
Yeah, I know. No, you think I don't understand this? You don't think I don't understand?
I'm talking to the audience at large. Like,
okay.
if everyone said the alien came in and poked my butt, I would be like, wow, the aliens, if everyone was like, the alien came in, poked my butt, left the room, I would be like, okay, they're doing a thing. The aliens have a plan. You're like, if you're telling me the Greys showed up, did a bunch of different things to different people and then left, none of that makes any sense. And it isn't like, I would have, if I was a secret government organization working with the aliens, I'd be like, y'all, you can't, why? What are you doing this for? And if they gave me any reason, it wouldn't make sense.
But that's, I agree with you. Like, that's why I am so interested in these things, because they don't make sense. These don't adhere to anything we really understand. Like it doesn't, there's no science behind any of it. It's all weird nonsense.
But I hate that is then used to be like, it's extrapolated to, well, we can't understand them because they're aliens. They're not like us. But like,
it's true. I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of the same stuff is true regardless of whether they're real or not. So it's like, if the only difference is whether these things are real or not, and they can have any powers and they can have any abilities and their science can be at any level, it really is hard. Like, it's possible that this all fully happened and we just don't believe it because it's so crazy. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? That's the whole problem.
But maybe that's another thing. Maybe that's why this is happening. Maybe they're just trying to make us and poke at us and be like, you know, reality isn't as simple and straightforward as you would like it to be. Like, think outside the box. I mean, there's more to reality than what you're seeing.
Time out.
I'm not gonna jump on that. I'm not gonna say that's what I think.
You're telling me that if I snuck into your room at night, if I snuck in your room at night dressed in like as a clown and started poking your feet and then was like, question your reality, Mathis, you'd be like, it makes sense, it checks out.
I wouldn't be like, it checks out. I'd just be like, I'd be left with so many questions and like curious.
You're right, you would have a lot of questions.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Like, I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying, like, it's a very small possibility that's all these things are just poking at us, or they're using us as their anchor to come into our reality too, which we've talked about before.
I just have to, there's so many levels to alien abduction.
Yes.
And the idea that aliens exist, 100% like the level is so very clear. Like, aliens exist, buying completely. Aliens visited Earth? Maybe. I have no answers. Aliens abducted people? Okay. We're gonna, like, all right. I mean, if one person was abducted and everyone else is lying, still one person was abducted. So, like, okay. But eventually we come down far enough where it's like, the aliens went to a hotel and then did multiple different things to multiple different people all at the same time at a UFO convention. And then people just, like, over the next few years all start to line up in a story about what really happened. Like, that is the extreme of, like, nah, I can't go there. I can't do that.
So wait, where is your limit then? Like, where are the limits of your belief? Like, what has to happen other than like an alien landing in front of you? Like, what would somebody if it was only 2 experiences from 2 different rooms of people instead of 7 or so, would that be more believable to you?
I will say that I was more accepting of this as a story when it was 2 women in this room, shit went down, one of them was worried that something was going on, she brought this on everyone, and she heard screaming from another room. The minute we got into what was happening in the other room, and then he said his story, and then another group of people apparently had the exact same crazy stuff happen, except he was like
slight differences.
Yeah, but once that starts to happen, once we start to have more and more and more examples all happening in one space, then it falls apart. Right? Like, if it does
damage the sort of like uniformity of the story, right?
Right.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely makes it way harder to swallow. And I don't know, like, do you think that's why, I guess, the Coronado group abduction is not looked at as, say, intensely as the Betty and Barney Hill case, it's a solo event, but granted, they came forward with it. It didn't, like, it ruined a lot of their lives even coming out about it.
If it was a boating convention instead, it would be a lot more believable.
Exact 100%. Yes. This is like, the one dude is literally like, so I'm laying there in bed reading a UFO magazine, and then I go to bed And the aliens show up at the UFO convention.
He was like, I'm so tired that I could barely keep my eyes open.
It's possible he started dreaming about UFOs, but again, then you have to look to everybody else who also had weird experiences. So is it
They're
really?
at a UFO convention, though. You know what I mean? Like they're thinking about they're thinking about UFOs.
Look, no offense to UFO convention attendees, I would love to be one. All I'm saying is that there's also, going back to the Crucible, the idea that if one person says, last night I was abducted, how many people are going to say, oh, I was abducted too last night? That's so crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that happens.
Yeah, 100%. That happens with stuff like there was a lady who was like, yeah, I was like in 9/11 and she like wasn't, you know? Like there's all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my God. I actually forgot about that lady. Yeah. She like capitalized on that as much as she could before she got outed.
Look, we might have had a president that made some stuff up about 9/11 too. So like whatever.
No way. Not at
You
all.
may have had a lot of presidents that made a lot of stuff up about a lot of things.
Yeah.
God. All right. I don't want to go down that road. Okay. Anyway, so there's a bunch more I'd love to go through, but we're just going to focus on one last one. But before we do you remember when Alice, if we go back to Alice's case from the second episode, afterwards she said that the aliens were mad at her for taking out her implant. And like, because she said she didn't really give any
reason. And jammed another one in her ear.
In her ear. Yeah, that's right. She did say that actually. Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. There's somebody else who wasn't part of that group abduction, who kind of talks about, his name is John, something similar happening to him, where he ended up finding something in his body that he didn't recognize, and he had abduction events, we'll call them, throughout his life. And eventually he had it removed because it was just causing a little bit of pain and it was bothering him and had been bothering him for years. But when he took it back out, he was fine. They didn't bother him for a long while, or for a little while rather, until he took that piece back. Like they gave it back to him because he wanted it. And then the aliens started showing up again and apparently were extremely mad. And during his regression sessions, he is basically the entire session begging the aliens, like screaming, it's me, I swear to God, oh God, it's me, no, it's me. And like begging them, being like, you don't have to do it again, it's me, I'm sorry. And they were like re-putting the implant back in him, but they didn't take the pain away. It's like flashes of like him being held down.
Scornful kind of like F you.
Almost like a how dare you fucking take this out. Now, this never take this out again.
If somebody did this to a rat, they would be out of there.
I mean, again, if grays are not biological and they're more cybernetic, I guess, or more mechanical than they are.
Then why would they have like that in them? You know what I mean? Like if these are advanced beings and they're like machines, why do they have like you took it out? Well, now we're going to put it back in, you big asshole. Like, why would they act like that?
That goes back to the 12 alien races of the grays may be more of a servant race or species to the tall whites, or I don't think they were reptilians. There's like a couple of things. Or no, remember those human something hybrids also who have their own planet out there?
The point is the specifics, trying to break down the specifics based on what people would do is...
Sure.
It's a short period to walk down, right? Like it's hard to do that, right?
Exactly.
I don't know. But I mean, we all know that it sounds unlikely. We all know that it sounds like probably what happened was they made it all up, right? Like even like the things that we're saying that support this, like the fact that they are all in a support group together, the fact that they all know each other, like that kind of makes this interesting in a way, but it also makes it a lot, and that, they're all profiting off of the fact that they've seen UFOs and they have books that they've written and things like that. It's like, the writing's on the wall on one hand, but I guess we'll have to see, like, if we ever make contact, if the veil is lifted, and we find out that, oh yeah, grays were collecting fucking ear samples from everyone for years. Who knows? Who knows? I would feel bad for calling these people crazy.
No, that's the thing too. Again, I fully believe that they believe something happened to them. Like, I think they've convinced themselves one way or another, whether it actually happened or didn't, that something happened there. So the last people we're going to talk about is the room that contained a man by the name of Gary. And the thing that's important to know about Gary is he also has had, of course, experiences in his past. But the one that I find interesting is one that happened in 1977, where he woke up in his house with his wife next to him, and he woke up to something touching his feet. When he looked over, he saw two small silhouettes like at the foot of his bed. So he leapt out of bed, ran downstairs to grab his shotgun, and he basically was like, I'm going to kill anybody who doesn't belong here. And as soon as he grabbed his shotgun, he heard I think he said his brothers walked into the house for the night. And when he made it back upstairs, they were gone. So, but that could also, rationally looking at it, that could also be like a half dream. You ever wake up and think you see something, or you wake up and you hear your name being shouted, or something along those lines? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who knows? He could have he could have woken up and then he thought he saw something because he was only half awake. Shot of adrenaline, he ran down the stairs, and of course, when he came back, there was nothing there.
Somebody could have put fucking mushrooms in his tea. Like, anything could have happened.
I mean, in the 70s, yeah, maybe, definitely.
Anytime, today.
Also, yeah, very true. So we're going to talk about, obviously, though, the experience that happened to him in Coronado. And the way he describes the creatures here is they do somewhat find the kind of fit Gray's, but it's his where you see, I think it's his, we'll go through it, where a tall white accompanies them. And what he ends up seeing, and this is going to be, we're going to cut through a lot of the bulk of it.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
My assumption,
yes,
and I don't know how much longer we're going, but my assumption was this was a UFO convention where a bunch of different aliens showed up, but so far it's just all been Greys.
Greys are the majority of it.
Oh, man. I'm genuinely disappointed.
Unless you want to go, okay, I will say this, unless you want to go 4 episodes and talk about every single case
I'm talking about specifically this event.
Right.
My assumption was that this was a UFO conference where every alien also came to the conference. And I was like, that is phenomenal. I was super excited for that. And it's just the same Greys showing up again, being like, I'm going to poke you. That's so disappointing to me. I was like so hyped that like, yeah, one of them was a tall white and one of them was these like bird things. Because you explained all these aliens at the beginning and we're just talking about Greys.
Because I realized if we talked about all their past encounters, it would be about 5 episodes of talking about this thing as we go through all of their experiences leading up to it. And
but
why
I thought it was going to be
there are others that show up.
The or if you think like me, it's only one episode.
I'm feeling completely greenstone right now. I feel greenstone.
How dare you?
Little greenstone is what I am right now.
You feel great?
You little green stoned me, and I am
excited, interested,
so upset,
confident in a great conclusion.
We talked about 12 aliens. I expected to see most of the 12 show up to this thing like, we're here to party, and it's just been Greys. And now you're like, one tall white also appeared. What? I'm so disappointed. Immensely disappointed, but okay. All right.
Well, God, you make me want to do like 2 more episodes, but I just can't. It can all be one carve episode, out that man. Time. I can't.
Be one.
Go read this book. Again, I really enjoyed reading this book. It's called Coronado, the President, the Secret Service, and the Alien Abductions by Yvonne Smith. I'm telling you, man, it's a good read.
How is the president even involved? It was like next door.
Because he was there again. Because I'm not talking about. Because I'm deliberately cutting out the parts where they're regressing and talking about the Secret Service, following them around, where they might actually be men in black and not Secret Service with the way they hang about. Because, again, we'd be talking about fucking everything. We'd be just here all day long. I'm getting to the alien stuff.
But no other aliens showed up, Mathis. No other aliens showed up.
Nah, that's not true, but we're just not going to talk about it.
What do you mean it's not true? You said that in the past they showed up.
3 different types of aliens show up here with a potential 4th because somebody said they saw a Nordic show up.
All right, what are the 3 types of aliens?
So Greys, tall whites,
one tall white. Don't say tall whites plural.
Who, mind you, accompanied the Greys, which goes into the theory that the Greys may be subservient to the tall whites, which comes from the 12 alien races. I am not saying that shit does not quickly devolve into racist nonsense, and it absolutely does. And you should not do not believe any of it.
To the tall whites,
I know, but okay. So to be clear, the tall whites look like taller Greys. with white skin and big black eyes.
Right.
The Nordics are the ones that look like the blonde racist aliens.
It's just the phrasing is very like...
it's a terrible way to identify them.
The best way to describe it is, and you've seen this now, Mathis, at the end of Close Encounters, there is
true, I have seen it.
The little tiny dudes who come out and take the hands, and then this like big tall ass dude comes out, and that's the tall white.
That would be the tall white. Yeah, that would be the tall whites. That's literally exactly correct, except none of the encounters with the Greys are ever that peaceful, ever. If they were that peaceful, I feel like we would have known about them already, but it doesn't. So we're going to... You're losing. I'm spiraling, Jesse. I'm spiraling. Let me give you a picture.
Fault. You promised me multiple aliens.
Here,
I thought there'd be lizard men. I thought it was gonna be like that one.
You gotta do what I did. You gotta open with the
compelling
imagery.
Here is an image drawn of somebody who believed in their encounter a man by the name of Jesse. I think it's a different Jesse. Here is what he calls accompanying the tall whites and the Greys, a hybrid. This is what. The image of a hybrid he drew, which simply...
Star Child? Whoa! Yeah, I mean, all right. That's, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And they say that this...
Looks like 70s album art.
Looks like the teacher from Freaks and Geeks.
So the context behind this photo, this is a drawing of a star child that had died. And it was a sheet. This little thing over it isn't its hair. It's a sheet that was over the dead star child, the dead hybrid.
And they just brought it with them?
They brought her over, and they said that this person needed to be part of the ceremony to send off this dead hybrid.
Oh, because like Jesse was the dad?
Yeah, they say, the audience said, quote, the audience rose to their feet. After wrapping the child in the cloth, a craft appeared above the arena and hovered over it. A beam of light shone from the craft onto the child on the stage. The child was lifted up into the craft, and the craft moved off, disappearing into the sky. The tall white being said to me, again telepathically, "Thank you for giving us your children."
Stop. Time out. Stop. Mathis.
That calm
Michael
voice.
Martin, are you telling me...
Thank you for giving us your children.
Are you telling me that we spent 2 episodes going through like... I'm seeing something come through the window, oh Lord, when we could have been with like, I went to the arena and the tall white spoke. That's so much better.
Do you want to know why? Because this is half a page of a thing and then it's left and never talked about again.
Well, that's why I know this is all lies. Because that's the one thing I would believe. That dude is like, I went to the space arena and when I was there, the aliens took my star child. That shit's compelling and fun. Oh, man.
Yeah, this person was milked for their seed very similarly.
Instead, I had to read the word huge as HUGH like 8 times. I'm so upset. I have been greenstoned again. I'm so outraged.
You've not been greenstoned. Absolutely not. I take offense to saying that I greenstoned you.
I take offense to you taking offense to being greenstoned.
Well, until you finish the trilogy, it's an apt description of what happened.
Who said I haven't already?
Me.
You said, wait,
me,
what?
Jesse Cox.
You finished it?
Me and everyone listening right now says
okay,
you
well, all right. Well, you know what?
Come see, come saw. Like, he hasn't.
Come see, come saw. You know? Come see, come saw.
Also, look at these. This is another picture drawn as they describe the creatures that used a flashing blue light over them, just to give you another photo of what like some of these other creatures that showed up look like. And this guy, you know what? This guy is a pretty good artist. He calls them the gray ones, but look at how they look in comparison. Dude. They have like a skeleton face.
This guy, with, like, I want this guy to do like a show poster.
Like, weird, spindly, like sharp nails and shit, which like Greys don't ever have. They don't have nails. They don't have
like those dudes from Doctor Who.
Yeah, he's almost got like a sonic screwdriver.
They look like Frisky Dingo.
These guys, he calls them the gray ones, but again, also Greys don't have wrinkles on their skin, and he draws them to have like wrinkles on there where like their shoulders sink in on their fingers. So while
he's like, I definitely saw
they do
wrinkles.
not fit any of the description that you know Greys are typically.
But these dudes were pretty chill though, right? They were like, come to the funeral.
No, this device that he's holding over him caused immense pain whenever it flashed blue. It was a pure painful experience for this guy when he was taken by
What am I looking at with that little shape on the end there? Is that like energy going like bam, like an emoji?
Yeah, like the blue light. That's like the flash of the light. Whenever a blue light was emitted from that thing, it like caused insane amounts of pain for him.
I see. Okay.
But again, I have to put an asterisk. This didn't come about until hundreds of hours of regression therapy.
Huh.
Right.
And
hundreds of hours.
Exactly. Hundreds of hours. And at that point, I don't know, man. Hypnotherapy's already wishy-washy, it's whether it's actually real or not. At 100 hours or whatever in, are you not just fanficking yourself?
Yeah, hundreds of hours? That's like Scientology shit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's just very, very strange. However, that's not who are you, because you put me on a freaking side thing there, Jesse.
Look, it's not my fault that I just discovered that this other Jesse had the best story out of all of them, and you just skimmed over it.
The final abduction that we're going to cover here, and I'm leaving again, there's like 4 other ones in the book, is the room that had Sam and Gary. Now, Sam and Gary had relatively similar experiences, but I'm not going to go over both of them. I'm just going to go ahead and use Gary's side of things because he was able to, for whatever reason, see a bit more. Though I will say the interesting part about Sam's abduction is that while he was there, he almost could see Gary near him. He thought he saw Gary on a table, but he was unable to move his head. The aliens were keeping him there. And at one point, as most of them were dealing with Gary and only one person was here with Gary, you know what? This is worth reading. We'll do it real quick. We'll go through this. It's only about a page. So they're asking like, what are you seeing now is where we'll start. Who wants to be Sam? Obviously, we know who Sam is. Jesse, you're Sam, obviously. And what now? And you're the therapist. So please take it away.
Oh, it's the same one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same therapist.
Who is Sam again?
You are Sam.
No, I mean
he was rooming with Gary, and he is, I want to say his age is like in his 40s as well.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He's like Jamaican and he's like wild, dude. He's just totally
wild
crazy.
He's pretty down to earth.
Every once in a while, he screams at the top of his lungs in the middle of talking. It's crazy. He's wild.
My apologies to everyone from the beautiful island.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. What evil have I wrought? This is like my Frankenstein moment.
Just so you know, the lead-in question for what he's about to answer is she's just saying, remember, you're safe now. You're just reporting what's happening. Take some deep breath and describe what's happening to you. And this is in the room after him and Gary went to bed.
I can't do this.
Yeah, maybe. All right.
Just,
you're Irish.
You know what? Do the
that?
old man from Left 4 Dead. How about that?
No. All right. I don't know. There's this, I feel very tingly, buzzy. I'm aware of my body and it's very compacted, very tight little package. God damn.
Oh, nice.
I wanted this very tight little package.
Sam.
Very tight little package and...
Sam, okay.
Can you say that one more time, please?
Very tight little package? Just like a little tight little package, like a little.
Just a
you can
tight
bounce a quarter off that thing.
I get it, Sam. I don't even have to hypnotize you for this.
And
I can see it.
This is gonna sound crazy, but I saw like a blue something go between the beds. How can I describe this?
Using all of your senses, feeling all around you, just verbalize what is happening.
It's not light. It's like an object, but it was blue. It's not lit internally. But was a membrane of something that went between the beds. I saw it move by, and then I see a trail of white behind it.
Is there stage directions I'm missing? Sorry.
There's a long pause. I become upset.
Oh, gotcha.
Sam, you're safe now. Just describe what's happening.
There's something moving around the room. There's activity. I think I'm almost hearing the rustling of paper, kind of like crackling. There's... like a whirling almost. It's like something that's coming around the bed almost. I see this red light that's up from me on my left. I don't think it's a smoke detector. I really don't. It's moving towards me. It's bigger and brighter than a little LED.
You're doing fine, Sam. Just keep verbalizing.
I'm getting chills. It's dark, and there's this red light overhead, and there's this membrane thing around me. I've never seen anything like this. I see a shadow trying to come through the membrane. I don't know what this membrane thing is. It went around the bed, and it tightened in somehow. It's kind of blue, and it's like transparent. I get the feeling that it's moving. I think there's something behind the light. Oh, it's close to my face now. I thought I saw a face. I mean, those eyes.
He's being freed from the Matrix.
Okay, take a deep breath now, Sam. You will be able to get through this without the fear. Just report to me what's happening.
I'm not sure I'm in the motel room. There's a brighter light over top of me now.
Is it the red light?
No, it's whitish yellow, moving slowly from the top of my head down towards the middle of my body, but it seems like it could be 10 feet above me. The membrane is spinning around where I'm laying. It's lowering. It's coming down, but it's just black beyond it. I'm definitely not in my bed anymore. I don't feel the covers. Whatever I'm laying on feels kind of hard. I'm in some kind of room.
Now, take a look around you and describe the room.
It looks like a round white tent on the inside. It has like a bowl or dome shape, like a bowl upside down. There's no straight walls, really.
Now, using all of your senses, your mind is very sharp and clear. Do you sense any noise or movement around you in this room?
His eyes move rapidly under his eyelids. I'm trying to look around. I get the sense that there's another table or whatever it is I'm lying on. I can see peripherally on my right is another table. I think there's somebody laying there. Oh, God, it looks like Gary.
You're doing fine, Sam. Try and take a good look at that person and describe what you're seeing.
So the last link will be the last part of this particular regression of what Sam was able to glimpse from his time.
Oh no, there's somebody here. It's so weird. This dome is distorted somehow, and in the distortion is some kind of entrance. There are two beings there, and they're engaging in some sort of conversation, definitely wearing dark uniforms or suits, but I can't see them real well because it seems like my head is in one position. Oh, God, I keep thinking, is that Gary? I think it is. I mean, it looks like him. It really does.
Sam, is anyone with him?
No. They want me to go back to sleep, and I'm telling them no. They're telling me, we don't want you awake during this part. It's like she finds this amusing in a way, but annoying in another that I wake up all the time.
I told you she'd come back.
Do you get the impression that it is female?
Well, it seems like it's the attitude, a look in her eyes. I'm trying to turn my head to look at what I think is Gary. I'm sure it's him, and they don't want me to look at him. I'm not to worry, and they tell me, we're not going to hurt him. She tells me to be calm, and she puts her hand on my head. I feel like I'm part of her, like she's family.
Now your senses are very sharp and clear. Observe everything that is happening in that room. Just continue to verbalize.
Well, I can just see peripherally. I can kind of look over with my eyes enough to see stuff, but it hurts to look that far over where Gary is. I want to say 3, maybe 2 on his left and 1 on my right. They're bent over him. The 2 on his left are bent over close to his abdomen, and the other seems to be holding him at bay, like the one who's dealing with me right now. She says something like, "You don't remember, do you?" And my response is, "I don't remember what?" And she looks at the others now, but she's got her hand on me and she's bent over and she's looking over her left shoulder at the others. I get the feeling there's communication going on. The others have something, I can't make it out. Something long instrument tubes. I just can't make it out that well. I don't really feel frightened. Her hand feels warm, but I don't mean physically. I mean that her touching me puts warmth inside of me deep in a way that I've never felt from anyone else. She says something to me about Gary is different than you are. She said his name.
Sam, do you understand when she says that Gary is different than you?
She says that I know what she means, and I think I know, but I resist believing. Although I consider its possibility, it's just hard to take it straight from her. Oh, she means that I'm connecting with them, and he's not. And not all the others are either, but we are very interested in them. A definite sense of you don't have to go through what he has to go through.
And that's kind of where, it's just, maybe they're talking about unable to easily cyclically or telepathically communicate with them and the like. And I didn't realize how long we'd been running, so I'm going to end up ending the episode just about here. But the one thing Gary saw that, and somebody else as well saw, I think his name is Mike actually, begins with an M anyway, is maybe all of these people were abducted and put into the same room, just unable to see one another. At least the memory was pulled, because one person said they were able to see not a number of bodies all laid out, and they drew a picture, and you could see where MC is marked, John is over there. They're that's just the person, they know each other, but then the rest, they're not sure who they are. People in different, states. Somebody looks like they're sitting up and talking. Somebody's got them looking down on them. A few others just kind of lying around. So it's possible that these people were all abducted and brought into the same ship by the same crew all at the same time, and all had different things done to them. What's weird is that Mike Evans didn't even get taken. They just put something in his ear and left him alone in the bed. But because there's just so much more to go about, none of it will give you the answers you're all seeking. I think this is where we're going to have to end the Coronado abduction experience.
Dag.
And while we walk away from it, probably feeling, if not conflicted, if not more doubtful than where we began, it still sits as an interesting case because we don't have a definitive answer. And what physical evidence we have can't be outright dismissed, but also isn't nearly enough to prove something ended up happening. And that's the frustrating part and the fascinating part of, just all alien topics
always
in
what
general.
Happens.
But with Coronado experience in particular, even when we talk about one of the ones that happens out in England with the military, we'll be walking away. We'll talk about that one way in the future, walking away still with doubt because of the weird, different experiences people who were right next to each other in the open had with the same vessel. And I think that will be the next alien series we do here on Chilluminati. But until then, I'm just going to cap it off here. This is a long one. We could go on forever. Thank you, boys, for strapping in and coming along for another crazy, weird, hard to control alien topic that gives you none of the answers and feeds probably Jesse's doubt just a little bit more. But we're off to go do a mini-sode for patrons. Head over to patreon.com/ChilluminatiPod. You can get Rotten Popcorn episodes, mini-sodes. We've got ad-free episodes, access to our Discord, free posters and art every month, all kinds of shit. So go check it out.
I always say that's the website.
That is, you know what? You're actually right. You said you would call it the website?
I would say that's the website.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Anyway, me and my wife were sitting outside indulging on our porch one night, enjoying ourselves. I needed to go to the bathroom, so I stepped back inside, and after a few moments, I hear my wife go, "Holy shit, get out here." So I quickly dash back outside, and she's looking up at the sky in awe. I look up too, and there's a perfect line of dozen lights traveling across the sky.